Alright folks, I'm going to show you what the interior of the Equinox looks like at night. It's pretty nice actually. They've done a wonderful job. It's a nice update. They have improved their instrument lighting and the design has changed. So they've got this what looks like a 5-inch screen in the middle here with you know, all the usual hooplas and necessary information, speed, blah blah blah, various information options and so forth. You can change the traction stability and you know, some vital information there, and non-vital. Define, how can you have vital information in a vehicle anyway? Vital as far as the vehicle is concerned, you know. So, and some of the standard features that come with the Chevys, they introduced this in 19. Almost all their models come with a, let's turn this LED light off. Almost all their models come with these features, which is lane keep assist here. And then you got various safety, pedestrian, collision warning, and you can actually set those from the menu here. If you go home and you go to settings and you go to vehicle and collision detection systems, right? So you go to collision detection systems and forward collision system and front pedestrian system. You can alert and brake or just alert for the pedestrian, and the collision can be yet again it can be alert and brake or just alert and things like that. So, and it's a very snappy system. The coloring is good, the graphics are good, the design is good. It's very snappy, you know. You can go to Android instantly. It's not connected right now, it doesn't have wireless Android, but it's very snappy. So they've put a nice CPU. Obviously they've got more RAM in there, random access memory. That all of course helps the smooth flow operation of the firmware and software. But yeah, so this is what the cabin looks like at night. And you know, what I like about GM products is Chevys and so forth, is that everything is done. It may not be the most exciting, very futuristic interiors, but it is the most ergonomic and most efficient. You know, all the buttons and the gear and the cup holder and so forth are all in the right places. What I mean by that is that, like, you can rest your hand here and you can mess around with all the essential buttons. You know, all the climate controls are right within your touch. And if you go even a little forward, let me turn on the light so you can see, and even if you go like that a little forward, you know, you can pretty much mess around with the volume button. If you want to touch the screen, you can touch the screen. And you know, everything is nicely laid out on the steering wheel as well. It's a nice 3-spoke steering wheel, you know, nice to grab for this price point. You know, this car is about 27 grand out the door, maybe 28 with taxes and fees. It's the LT version. What that gives you is the LED headlights and the daytime running lights and bigger tires and slightly bigger wheels. I think it's a 16-inch. It's one above the base model. So, and it has the 1.5 turbo engine that I believe pushes about 170 odd or so horsepower. But of course, yet again, that depends on what octane fuel you're using. So if you use 87, you're not going to get as much power. Don't ask me exactly how much power you're going to get, but you know, that's a scientific fact. If you use less combustive fuel, obviously, and if you use more flammable fuel, of course it's going to produce more combustion in the chamber, in the cylinders, so you're going to get more power. But again, like the states like California, some states don't have 93 octane fuel, which I have no idea why. It's something to do with the emissions, but you know, how much more emission could it possibly create between 91 and 93? It's not exactly going to have an enormous difference in carbon dioxide or output and air pollution is not going to be that vast. It's very stupid law, but anyway. So that's the story with the Chevy. The night driving, I did this so you get a good idea of what the graphics and the colors look like. So speed warning, you can turn that off and on if you want. Your cruise control settings are on your left thumb, and this lane keep assist is a bit of a gimmicky type of technology. It's not very precise and it doesn't work properly. Half the time it does not work. I mean, I'll demonstrate it for you, but it's more mediocre type of technology than anything useful. And in town, it's an annoyance because by default this thing comes on. So let me show you that with the lights on. So when you first start the car, it's actually by default this bloody thing comes on. It's annoying because you don't realize it's on, and it feels like some ghost or somebody else is trying to steer the wheel every now and then you realize the lane keep assist is on. So like now, if the lines have gaps in between them, it doesn't work properly. If one side has a line, the other doesn't, more times than not, it will actually veer. It will lapse over, it will overlap the line, and it's not dependable. It's definitely not reliable. I wouldn't recommend using it unless you're on a nice highway, preferably like a turnpike or a toll road. It might work on a toll road. It will relieve the stress from driving, but more times than not, it's a BS technology right now. It's not very precise. Not this particular one that's installed in this car. So it explains why it's available in the base lineup. It was available in the 19 Chevy Cruises as well as a standard feature, one of the standard features. So it was pedestrian and collision warning for pedestrian, and obviously the car in front.